What's this? The March Hotel, huh? Well, Flair, looks like the others won't be able to join us. But let's get going. We're already late. This is gonna be interesting. Greetings! I'm the artist, but you can call me Ori, and last month I got to participate in the March Hotel. What's the March Hotel, I hear you ask? Well, in short, it's a month-long art event that happened in, well, March. This was actually its first year. Now, I'm not gonna go too in-depth into the intricacies of the hotel. For that, you can watch Naka's intro video or look at the website if you really want to get into it. But here's what you need to know to understand my stay at the March Hotel. The owner of the March Hotel is the Golden Goblin, who is a greedy entity that is not only greedy for gold, but also art. Give the goblin a piece of art each day, and he'll give you just enough gold to afford your stay at his hotel. But fail to pay up, and you get evicted, left to watch all the fun and festivities through the windows. If you too are greedy for art and gold, there are also quests from the hotel staff that grant you various amounts of coins upon completion. And lastly, you can open up a shop in the market, taking other guests' hard-earned coins to spend on your own frivolous desires. There's also fishing, which some people focused on much more than I did, but you can earn money that way too, just more randomized. All right, now to the good part, my March Hotel experience. The algorithm served me Naka's March Hotel video on March 2nd. Cruel, I know. And at the time, I had already been making a lot of art, basically every day, and making time for a 10-minute doodle if I hadn't drawn anything that day didn't seem very daunting. So I thought, why not join? I entered the hotel server and was immediately met with the insane design work and world building for the hotel. It really felt like I had been transported into this other realm of artists, all with one goal: make art. After getting my bearings and unpacking my things, I wandered the hotel to see all that it had to offer. I wasn't initially planning on doing any of the quests. I'm so busy. But when I found out about the market, I knew I had to open my own stall. I set to work, grinding quests and collecting every coin I could to scrape together the 100 coins needed for a market stall, in addition to the 20 coin daily rent. I even fished in the lake as often as I could, hoping to catch a mermaid or that elusive golden girt for those sweet coins. On my second day, March 3rd, while I was checking every hallway and rug for lost forgotten coins, I stumbled upon the Collegium Pictorum Guild Hall. The guild masters had moved into the hotel and immediately set up shop to collect more members. Donning the official guild attire and completing my heroic deed, I earned the guild crest and got a seat at their table. The guild had their own quests: tea and cookies, collaborative canvases, and best of all, camaraderie. This was not an official event put on by the hotel staff, but a creative use of the marketplace by a few ingenious guests, one of whom I've actually met before from Paper Demon. I'll be making a video about that in the future. Finally, after nearly a week, on March 7th, I was ready to open my market stall. Chef Ori's Hot Pot. Anyone who knows me knows of my terrible curse, in which every character I draw is accidentally hot. This applies to characters of all shapes and sizes. I think I must have angered another god back from my Making Monsters hot streams, but back on topic. So, to exploit my curse, I opened the Hot Pot stall, where I would draw any character, read the fine print, spicy, for coins, of course. Additionally, to go back to my monstrous roots, I had a seafood special, where you could bring me anything you had fished out of the lake, and I would make it spicy. Business was booming throughout the rest of my stay at the March Hotel, and over the course of the month, I cooked up 19 hot pot dishes and 3 seafood specials. There was no shortage for customers, as the only limit was my own time and speed. I went a bit ham making the promotional materials specifically for the storefront, but damn, does my shop look pretty if I do say so myself. About a week later, on March 13th, while I was walking back to my room after my part-time job down at the marketplace, I stumbled upon a mysterious key. This key would unlock another room in the hotel, the boiler room, and thus another place to fish. However, what this had unlocked for me was the fact that some quests also gave rolls as rewards, and I had to collect them all. My steady income from my food stall easily funded my own art greed, and the goblin's daily stipend funded my rent. This was just for the love of the game. Just the next day, March 14th, I found a small card had been slipped under my door. "You're invited! RSVP to the March Hotel's Golden Ball to take place March 18th. Well, of course I'd have to attend. Who knew this place was so fancy? Since my beloved arbiter couldn't make it to the hotel, Flair escorted me to the ball, and we had a wondrous time dancing and partying with all the other guests and staff. I'm gonna break the story immersion here just for a moment to talk about this specific piece. All of the pictures you see in the background are artworks that other guests made because of the March Hotel. This is just a tiny snippet of the sheer amount of creativity that the hotel and its staff inspired artists of all levels to create, and that's just incredible. Also, damn, I gotta give myself a bit of credit here. I don't ever want to draw a ballroom again. Whew. All right, back inside the hotel. As the days plugged on, the Golden Goblin grew more and more insatiable. The rent got raised to 30 coins, then 40 coins, and soon enough the Golden Goblin grew tired of art and was hungry only for gold. As his greed grew, fewer and fewer guests were able to remain in the March Hotel. Eventually, even the richest guests' pockets were bled dry, and everyone was finally evicted. In the end, I had collected every role, from philanthropist to cheapskate, boxer to unbothered, and even though I never wanted them, bankrupt and evicted. With the last guest kicked out, the hotel disappeared. All we have left were our memories, our art, and the friends we made along the way. Cold and displaced, many sought shelter in the odd corners of the world. The Collegium Pictorum Guild returned to their guild hall, and our server's doors opened up to all those tired, poor, burnt-out artists longing for a new place to call home, hoping to see the hotel once more. This was just my experience of the March Hotel. There were countless other stories and lore being made by all the guests across the event I couldn't even begin to chronicle at all. I drew a lot of other art for quests and storylines that I didn't even show here. It was an incredible experience to be a part of, and I'm so happy that I got to participate. I even teared up a little watching all the animatics with the hotel staff on Twitch during the final hours. Thank you, all hotel staff, for making an incredible event. And for all the kinks and stumbles that happened, it really ran incredibly smooth, especially at the scale. There is no guarantee the hotel will return next year, but if it does, I'll be there, and I hope to see you there too.